Hello class, this is Mr. Sierra and here to do a review on everything that we talked about temperature, heat, and heat transfer. Now, for the last couple of weeks we've been talking about what is temperature and what is heat and what is thermal energy. And it's important to know the difference between them. Temperature is the measure of kinetic energy, the movement of particles inside of an object. It can be a solid, it can be liquid, or it can be gas. And when you measure the average kinetic energy of the particles, you get what is called temperature. As for thermal energy, it takes into account the kinetic energy of the particles, but also how many there are. A large vat of water is going to have a lot more thermal energy than a small amount of water. Let's say that this was completely filled with water versus this. Even if this container was boiling, this one would be in room temperature. The water here would have more thermal energy because there's a lot more of it. As for heat, it is the transfer of thermal energy from one object to another. Now, there are three types of ways that heat can transfer. The first one is convection, which happens in fluids. It can happen in liquids or in gases. When you heat up a liquid or a gas, it rises because it becomes less dense. And then, to occupy the space, then other fluids from the top will come down and they will get heated themselves. And that creates what is called a convection current because it's cyclical. And that's actually how tornadoes and hurricanes are formed. As for conduction, it is direct contact. And here there is conduction right now when I'm touching the metal. And that's because the metal is cold and my hands are warmer. So there's heat from my hand being transferred into the metal of the drawer. That is direct contact, and that usually happens in solids, although it can happen in liquids and gases also. The last one is radiation. Radiation is the only one that can travel through space. The reason that we get heat from the sun is because of the radiation. And any type of light can really give off radiation heat. We even give off radiation heat. That's how cameras that can see in infrared in heat work. They actually see the heat, the radiation coming from us. Also, types of energy. There are different types of energy. We talked about this. There is electrical, which is electricity. Electromagnetic is light. Thermal energy, of course, is the energy that is inside an object. There's kinetic and potential, and there's different kinds of potential energy. There is chemical potential energy, which is inside chemicals, that is released when you break or form chemical bonds. We'll talk about that later. And there's also nuclear energy, which is how the sun creates energy, by crashing together under extreme heat and pressure, little tiny atoms, molecules called atoms, and they're hydrogen and they turn into helium, and this releases energy. So all these types of energy can transform from one to another, but energy can never be created nor destroyed. All of the energy in the universe was already created and will be the same. There will never be more energy that was created in the beginning. So if you have any questions, you can always ask me. You guys have my email. Your parents should have my email. This is a review. We're going to be having a test soon, and then we're going to be moving up to better and newer things. I hope you guys have a good day, and thanks for watching.